Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have a bunch of updates to share about Donald Trump investigations and cases. So first, the Fulton County Special Grand Jury report will be released next Friday, September 8th. The judge in that case said that the case has changed, or since things have changed, since the investigation is over, the indictments have been issued, the full report should be released in the public's interest. So he's given both the prosecutor and the defendants a chance to object, but if no one objects by September 6th, we will get to see all of the details as of next Friday. Next is the news that Trump pleaded not guilty in that case. He waived his right to a formal arraignment. Some have speculated he didn't want to interrupt his schedule with another arraignment, but Michael Cohen recently said that Trump was scheduled to be deposed on that same day. This is for the $500 million lawsuit that Trump brought against Cohen. And so that deposition was scheduled a long time ago. In addition to that news, Trump is seeking to sever his case, from the trial, I should say, of defendants Kenneth Chesebro, Sidney Powell, and John Eastman. They have all asked for a speedy trial, which means they're going to go to trial before the end of October. Trump, of course, hopes to prevent his trial from ever taking place, but, especially because there was breaking news that the judge in the case has given the green light to televise the proceedings. That is probably terrifying for Trump. There was also an interesting article in Page Six news outlet saying that since the Georgia indictments were issued, Trump is, quote, not so confident anymore. He's not acting so cocky anymore. He's not lashing out so much. The arrogance is gone. That came from a Trump insider. They told the publication that he's, quote, showing signs that it's wearing on him, and, quote, it feels like it's all setting in for him now. The source also said that Trump is, quote, nervous because there are so many defendants. He believes that a bunch of them are going to make deals and flip on him. And he should be nervous because Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, he just shot down the idea of calling for a special session for Congress to try to shut down the case. State Republican lawmakers in Georgia are pushing for him to call a special session because they want to defund and or impeach District Attorney Fani Willis. One far-right senator, it's a guy named Colton Moore, he told one of his colleagues, quote, we've got to put our heads together and figure this out and take action, because if we don't, our constituencies are going to be fighting in the streets. Do you want a civil war? I don't want a civil war. I don't want to have to draw my rifle. I want to make this problem go away with my legislative means of doing so. Yeah. They see it as a problem they want to get rid of, that the head of their party, the seemingly winner already of the Republican primary, is a criminal. Anyway, on Twitter, Moore wrote, quote, America is under attack. I'm not going to sit back and watch as radical left prosecutors politically target political opponents. We must strip all funding and, if appropriate, impeach Fani Willis. Well, yesterday, the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, said in no uncertain terms he will not convene a special session. Kemp was asked about this at a press conference regarding the hurricane, and he said in part, quote, up to this point, I have not seen any evidence that DA Willis' actions or lack thereof warrant action by the Prosecuting Attorney Oversight Commission. Regardless, in my mind, a special session of the General Assembly to end run around this law is not feasible and may ultimately prove to be unconstitutional. The bottom line is that in the state of Georgia, as long as I'm governor, we're going to follow the law and the Constitution, regardless of who it helps or harms politically. And I know some people have said, "Oh yeah, but Kemp said he'll still support Trump if he wins the nomination." Of course he says that. He's not stupid politically. I mean, he wants to keep Trump's base happy. Doesn't mean he's actually going to vote for him, right? Anyway, I mean, I'm not saying Brian Kemp is my hero or anything. The guy has done a lot of crappy things, and I definitely think he messed with elections in little ways, tinkered here and there to keep the governorship. But in this part of his tenure and his responsibilities, he's actually been very ethical, very moral. So I will give him that. In regard to Trump's New York case brought by the New York Attorney General Letitia James, new court filings show that over a 10-year period, Trump allegedly overstated the value of his assets by between $812 million and $2.2 billion. The AG, as you guys all know, she's accusing Trump and the Trump organization of using inflated figures to try to secure loans, to trick insurers, to trick lenders. And then she also claims that he undervalued assets and his net worth to reduce his tax liability. So that's the big deal in New York, is that he had, he owed taxes that he didn't pay, conceivably. Either that or he's lying about his net worth and he got loans that he didn't qualify for. So the AG is asking for a summary judgment in favor of the state in the amount of $250,000. In her court filing, she wrote, quote, "Based on the undisputed evidence, no trial is required for the court to determine that defendants presented grossly and material inflated asset values in the statements of financial condition, and then used those SFCs repeatedly in business transactions to defraud banks and insurers." And in related news, a New York State Supreme Court just ruled this week that the banks and insurance companies who worked with Trump, they cannot hide documents connected to this lawsuit. Evidently, some of them were trying to prevent the Attorney General from seeing their documents. So this is very bad news for Trump, and the trial for this case is coming up quick. It begins in October. So he's going to have a very, very busy next year. So that does it for today, guys, for the updates. I will let you all know when I hear more. I'm sure there will be more very soon. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really helps with the algorithm, helps with other people finding the show, and to keep it going forward and for the long haul. And if you can donate, that also helps tremendously. Truly appreciate it. Love you all. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.